Shalom, everyone. Live from Mitzpe Ramon, where Kibbutz Erez has been evacuated about a month ago, exactly a month ago. I'm happy to be here with you and happy to introduce you to some of our dear friends from the partnership communities. Yesterday, we marked 1 month since Shabbat HaShchora, the Black Shabbat. We're waking up every morning, hoping it was all just a bad dream, realizing the nightmare is actually real. 1,400 Israelis were killed, civilians and soldiers. 240 Israelis are held captive in the Hamas dark underground tunnels, including babies, children, and elderly. Thousands and thousands of people in Israel are suffering from severe trauma all over the place. Most of the kibbutzim in the town of Sderot are still evacuated from home, residing in crowded hotels and youth hostels around the country. Many of them simply don't have a place to go back to. Greater Metro West Federation is raising funds and awareness while fighting increasing threats of anti-Semitism. Most of those funds go to the collective emergency campaign of the Jewish Federations of North America, supporting the Jewish Agency for Israel, the Joint Distribution Committee, hospitals, and many other NGOs and organizations who are providing major help on the ground. Your help and support counts and makes a difference. I feel it personally. Greater Metro West is also known for its close, long-time connections with our partnerships regions. In the next hour or so, we will meet our friends who will share their stories and their thoughts. They are not IDF or any other official organization spokespersons. They are part of our family. Please feel free to comment and ask questions in the chat. We will try to answer them after their short presentation. And I'll also add that everything here is unpredicted. If we hear alarms, then some people might have to get off the webinar. Things are moving here very, very quickly. So bear with us with all the changes and adjustments. I'm happy to welcome Iris Cohen from Ofakim. Iris is a resident of Ofakim, a school principal, and a proud member of the steering committee of Ofakim Merchavim. Eyal Keidar, I understand that he was able to join us. Eyal, we cannot see you, but we know that you're here with us. Eyal is active within the partnership for 20 years, 7 of them as a chairman of the partnership with Arad, past member of the Arad City Council. He's part of the current Peoplehood Project, starting the 2nd year of the project. Eyal is recruited to the reserve duty from October 8th on duty at the same time as his son Alon, who's serving in the Golani Brigade. Hi, Eyal. We'll get to you in a second. Okay. בסדר, we'll be with you in a minute. Merav Kopito. Merav from Rishon LeZion, my dear friend. Merav serves as the director of the Training Center for Youth Leadership of the Rishon LeZion Teen Department. She's the supervisor of the Metro LeZion Dealer Teen Fellows Program and a longtime partner with the Rishonim program and other adventures that we had together. Mufid Mari, former member of Knesset. Mufid is a resident of Khorfesh, a Druze village in the Upper Galilee, not far from the border with Lebanon. Mufid will share with us how they deal with the Northern Front. He's also the former head of the Khorfesh Local Council and the chair of the Khorfesh Greater Metro West Partnership. He's the only Druze chairperson of this kind of partnership, and we're very proud to have you with us today. And Vered Spirer. Many of you know Vered as my next door neighbor in the kibbutz. She's now also my next door neighbor in Mitzpe Ramon in the youth hostel. Born and raised in Kibbutz Erez, Vered is the chair of the steering committee of Erez, and also a participant in the current Peoplehood Project. And she's joining us also from Mitzpe Ramon. We're sitting in different rooms so we don't get confused, but we're here in the same end of the world location. I'm gonna ask our dear panelists to refer to 3 questions. One is, what was their experience, their personal, their family, their communal experience over October 7th? What has been happening in their communities or with their lives since then, in the past month? And what is their message to the community? What do they want you to take out of this webinar, and what they would like you to think about and be active with? We'll start. We originally were planning on starting with Iris, but I understand that Eyal is on the roll right now, so we'll start with Eyal, if that's okay. רגע, אנחנו לא שומעים אותך.
Hi everyone, I hope you hear me. I didn't plan it to be this way. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I didn't plan it to be this way. I planned it to sit in my house, although I'm in reserves from the 8th of October. But I was called to bring the sad message. That's my job now that I volunteered in the army, in my reserves, to bring the sad message to the families. And I'm just now in the middle of bringing this message. So I stopped and I came to talk with you. It's a hard situation. But I want to tell you, I didn't follow the question. I'm not really in focus now because I'm really in the house with the tears and sorrow and grief. But I would say that we would get over this struggle and we would win. I don't know yet what's the meaning of winning, but we would win and we will live here. And I'm not sure about peace, but we were going to live here. And I'm Israel Chai. And if you have any question, I can answer now, or else I'm sorry, but I'll have to go off the Zoom now. So if you wanted to ask me something, you're more than welcome.
Eyal, can you share a little bit of, how many families you had to visit in the past month, and how does it work? Maybe how does it affect you personally?
Yeah, this is my 10th family that I've visited, and I gave them the bad news. How does it affect me? Well, I feel the sorrow and the grief all the time, and I don't know, people who know me. Usually, I'm happy and cheerful and looking for happiness. Now, it's really hard. It's really hard to get into a family, to knock on the door and tell them that their son or husband or daughter is not going to come and she died. It's very hard. We break the family, we break them to pieces, and then we stay there to collect those pieces, to collect their pain, to help them to struggle with the pain. And it is hard. It is hard. Although I've been a combat soldier for many, many years, for almost 35 years, I've been a combat soldier and an officer. I think this is the most difficult and painful assignment that I've ever had. I volunteered to that assignment. I'm doing my best. I cannot give those families their dearest back, but I can be there to hug them, to hold them, and bury their pain with them. I'm the representative of the army in their house, and that's our assignment, to be there for them, like an unwritten contract between soldiers and the society and the family in Israel. Whatever is going to happen, we're going to be there for them. We're going to be there. We're going to help them. We're going to hold them. Although sometimes they're angry at us, sometimes they have lots of feelings. It's not against us, but we're there, and we're going to be there. And then the evening or night when I come back home, I take off my uniform and I just sit and cry, and I write all kind of things, all kind of notes, and I'm trying to be strong for the day after, for another family, for another struggle, for another painful assignment that I took on myself. But it's a necessary one, and we have to be there. And if I'll just, the end of my, whatever I'll call it, what I just called you, I would say I'm Israel Chai. And I see the strength, although it's very painful. And I see the Am Israel is together, everybody. And I see this unity. And that that can make us a bit stronger, although we have a lot of painful moments.
תודה רבה רבה, אייל. We're all sending you a big, big hug. I know that you're having the most difficult evening now and the most
Yes.
difficult task to do, so...
Love you. Love you. See
תודה
you
רבה.
not on uniform. Not on uniform. Don't ever see me on uniform. Not
No,
a pleasant. No.
no.
Love and hugs. Bye.
תודה רבה, אייל. תודה.
Bye. Bye, love.
תודה. I'll just say that we met Eyal 2 weeks ago. He came to visit us in Mitzpe Ramon, and he said that one of the instructions they're given is to forget after they visit the family and bring the news and spend some time with them. They're asked to try and forget the stories and the names, and he can't. He has them all in his head, and it's we usually don't get to see this side of the picture. So we thank Eyal for what he does and for joining us. We'll take a breath. Iris from Ofakim. Tell us how you're doing and what's the situation like in Ofakim.
I will start with your first questions. During the 7 October 6:30 a.m., I wake up to the sounds of the sirens, and me and my 2 kids, Osher and Lichai, 28 and 26, and also my dog. We got to the safe room and wondering what we have done. What did we do to them? So we got the missiles. It was suddenly. After approximately half hour, we heard that we have terrorists in Ofakim. And I tell you, it was the most terrified situations. I was afraid. We were afraid. We closed the windows, the door. We turned off the light. We was in such silence. I don't know how to describe it. I felt helpless. I didn't know what to do if the terrorists will come to our neighborhood. I had to last year. I'm sorry. I had to hide my feelings, you know, because I had 2 kids that looking at their mothers, I didn't know what to do. I only have to pray that they wouldn't come to our neighborhood. And we heard a lot of rumors, and this one is dead, and this one was hurt, and we couldn't understand why in Ofakim, you know, it was very very difficult situations. I tell you that, and I feel it inside my, my heart and my belly. So in the Ofakim, you can see after the seven the Black Sabbath. You see in the Ofakim the most change, the most emphasized change. You can see that everyone was closing the door. In Ofakim the door is open, and now the gates is closed. The door is closed. When it gets dark, you cannot see anyone in the street. I heard that my kids, I'm a high school manager. I know that my children, my youth, very big. Their parents don't allow them to go out, and they're staying at home, close at home. Now in Ofakim, the situation seems calmer because you can see more people on the street, you can see more shops are open, but it's not Ofakim before the 7th October. Now the difficulty is in the family units. They have to financial struggles because they are not working, the children at home, the system, the education system, most of it are closed. But I want to say that Ofakim is a very strong community, and we also have a solidarity. You can see people are helping people, other people's. This is something that in Ofakim, it's the city of people. It's the city of people. You can see it every day, and that gave us a very hope to very better future.
תודה רבה, איריס. I think it's a very strong message. It's a city of people, and the door being closed and open, I think, is especially for those of us who on the webinar who visited Ofakim so many times, we understand exactly what you're saying. So תודה רבה, איריס. Big hug. I'm now welcoming my friend Merav Copito from Rishon LeZion.
Hi, hello everyone. Again, my name is Merav. I'm from Rishon LeZion. I work for the Rishon LeZion municipality at the youth department. I'm proud to be part of the family of Metro LeZion as a supervisor of Dileton Fellows in Rishon LeZion. Actually, when Yara called me some days ago to invite me to this session, and she asked me to tell about my experience and my feeling and emotion. It was at the beginning I was confused and I couldn't think about the right words, how to describe my experience and how can I express the emotion that we have, because I've never had such bad times in my life, and the sadness, the sadness and the sorrow and the fear and anxiety, everything comes together in a strong waves. So I could not find the right word to describe, to express my feeling beside one word, which is darkness. This is what I feel right now and for the last four weeks. I was in Saturday, October 7, I was in Lublin in Poland. Lublin is our twin city of Rishon LeZion, and I was there with a youth delegation. Saturday was our last day of the visit, and we were supposed to be on a flight back to return to Israel. Unfortunately, all the international airlines immediately canceled their flight, and we had to find, a way to come back home. Of course, our Polish host invited us or insist that we will stay with them and to stay safe in Poland. But for us, there was no doubt that we are finding our way back home to be close to the friends and family. And I'm mentioning it because this is actually the story of Israel, the spirit of Israel, that something is wrong in times of trouble and war. All we want is to go back home and to stay there together with friends and family and to be part of the war effort. So it was no doubt, and we had a long way home. We got through Athens. What we saw in Athens airport was exactly what I want to tell about the Israeli society. We saw there hundreds of people seeking to come back home, and in the middle of a family holiday, youngster or teen fellows who were in the middle of road trip after the army, all of them quit. Decided to cancel everything and to cut the holiday and to come back home. And we saw there were so many people worried about their son who had to go to the army, or people they know, relatives that were maybe kidnapped or killed or missing because of this masquerade. So it was really the story of the Israeli society that you can see in the airport. So many people.
Can you say a word about the activities that the youth in Rishon LeZion are doing?
Yeah. I was back to Rishon, as like you know, Rishon is one of the cities that suffered a lot from the missiles fire, and we had at the beginning we had many times a day we had to go to the shelter and to the safe room, and it's actually influenced our routine day life. The schools are closed, kindergarten are closed, businesses are closed. And we had to shift our, mission to things that regarding to the war effort. We had hosted many of the residents of Otef Aza in Rishon, in the hotels, in the dorm of the students. And so together with the young fellows and of course the staff of our youth department, we joined a lot of volunteering activity, and we had every day. This is what we do actually every day. We don't work. This is what we do. We are volunteering, packing package for their families, and we are organizing events and activity for little children in the shelter. I want to show you something very unique that we do in the buildings of the private houses. I mean, not private, but buildings of people. How can I help me? How can I share? Gallery.
While Meirav is looking for the photos, I am welcoming everyone on the webinar to send us questions in the Q&A. We'll have a few minutes to answer them afterwards.
Okay, so the picture is mixed and I'm not technical, so you have to be patient. This is something that we did for the awareness of releasing the hostages from Gaza. We colored all the city with yellow ribbon on the trees, on the houses fence, and on the cars. And this is, I mean, also the youth movement joined these initiatives. You can see a restaurant in the middle of Rothschild Street, full of the yellow ribbon everywhere. And we also called all the community to help. איך חוזרים חזרה לזה?
רוצה לעשות סטופ?
כן, אני רוצה לחזור למניו, לא, לתמונות האחרות.
מירבי, אנחנו עוברים הלאה. Thank you.
Okay.
Last word, if you want.
Okay. Okay. Just yesterday we held a big ceremony for for the 30 days of the hostages. It was very emotional. I have so many things to share, but there is no time, so maybe other time. That's it.
תודה רבה. We're also continuing sharing on social media for Federation, for the partnership network in Israel. We'll share the links here so everyone can join and follow, because the amount of work that is being done all over Israel, but in our partnership communities especially, is heartwarming and inspiring, and it's definitely worth following. תודה, מירב.
Maybe I want to share one important thing is that we are really focusing on Hasbara Israelit, Israel advocacy, and we used also the dealer and other student of the youth department to do it. So maybe we need your help later on with this.
You're right. תודה.
Thank you.
Mufid Mari from Khorfesh. As we speak, there are alarms going off in the north again. I hope they didn't reach Khorfesh, but I can see the app is ringing.
Okay, good evening from Khorfesh, everybody. First of all, I want to thank you about your stand with us in this war days. Very difficult days here in Israel. I am in Khorfesh now, but October 7, 10/7, we was here in Khorfesh. In the morning, we get the news, the bad news from Otef Aza, from Sha'ar Negev, and other villages in Otef Aza. And I know that's bad news. It's going to be the same 9/11 days, and we start to make all what we need to be ready from Lebanon border. Khorfesh 2 kilometers from the Lebanon border. At 10/7, it's not fire. Hezbollah and the other soldiers, not soldiers, terrorists from Lebanon, not fire to Israel, but at 10/9 was killed 2 soldiers from Khorfesh and from Yanuch, Druze soldiers in the border. And every day we have fire from Lebanon. I say that is not war, but we going and we got ready to the big war here. What happened in Khorfesh? Now we are in emergency situation. We know no school, all the schools is closed here in Khorfesh. We stay in Khorfesh. We cannot go out from here. The most of the guys go to the army, and then in Gaza and Ramat Golan in the north here. So it's not זה לא המצב הכי נוח לנו, אנחנו צריכים להיות מפוזרים, או מה שנקרא, איך אני מגדיר את זה, הרגש שלנו עוד יישובי עוטף עזה, מיכל.
Our heart goes to the Gaza envelope settlements.
כן, הרגש שלנו פה, והשכל צריך לחזק את שניהם.
But we also think about the north and our own community, and we're torn in between. I'll also add that Khorfesh was planning, if they were asked to be evacuated, they said that they will not be evacuated. Maybe the women and the children will leave, but the men are planning on staying and defending the village.
עוד דבר אחד חשוב, מאז המלחמה אנחנו כל היישובים הדרוזים, אגב, עוד דרוזי סיטיזן ויליג', נרתמנו למאמץ, מגייסים מה שנקרא מזון, אוכל, דברי היגיינה, מגייסים בגדים ושולחים גם לדרום וגם לחיילים.
Like every other city in Israel today, even the Druze villages and towns are raising funds and collecting items, clothes and toiletries and hygienic and food and whatever is needed for the evacuees from the south and for soldiers. It's all across Israel. Every town that is still functioning and was not weren't evacuated has opened a center of volunteerism and just collecting items and driving them all around the country. מופיד, מילה אחרונה.
מסר, מילה ומסר. אנחנו מתארגנים כיתות כוננות, אנחנו נעזרים גם מסייעים מכם מה שנקרא לציית את הכיתות כוננות לקראת המלחמה.
Their immediate assignment is to get a first response team. We saw in the south that in kibbutzim that the first response team was able to react and defend the kibbutz. It made a huge difference. So now they're creating their own units, also with the help of Greater Metro West.
הדבר האחרון וזה המסר המרכזי. קודם כל אני חושב שכל היהודים בעולם צריכים לדבר עברית.
So his Mufid's final message is one that all Jews around the world should speak Hebrew.
אנחנו חלשים בהסברה. העולם שכח את 7 לאוקטובר. אני מתראיין בהרבה רשתות, גם בערבית וגם ברשתות חו"ל. העולם כרגע מסתכל על עזה, שכח את מה שהיה ואת הטבח שהיה ב7 לאוקטובר. אתם, כולכם, כל העולם היהודי והעולם הנאור צריך להתגייס, לסייע לנו בהסברה שהעולם לא ישכח את 7 לאוקטובר. זה המסר.
So that very strong message. Mufid is saying the world has forgotten about October 7th. Now the media and you in New Jersey feel it very strongly. The media is telling the stories of Gaza. They forgot about the terror and the trauma that happened here on October 7th. And he's saying, he's asking your help and your support to continue and share the stories, share the names, and don't let anyone forget what happened here. תודה רבה רבה מופיד. Sorry, last but not least, ורד from קיבוץ ארז / מצפה רמון.
Hi everyone, I'm Vered. I'm from Kibbutz Erez, born and raised. Kibbutz Erez was my home, is my home almost all my life. And what we had on October 7 is, I think, an experience we never had anything like it. We woke up at 6:30 a.m. We had a red color alarm. Okay, me and my husband ran to the safe room. My 3 kids, it's their bedroom, and we joined them. They were still asleep. We had a red color alert, and then another one, and then another one. We understand that something's going on. I don't think 10 minutes passed, and we got, I think at that point, the scariest message we can get. Close the door, lock the doors, lock the windows, and stay in the safe room. Don't go out. That was the message we got. We stayed at the safe room for hours, and we didn't know what's going on. We have no TV in the safe room. It's the kids' bedroom, as I said. And all we had is our Wi-Fi connection, and that's it. We WhatsApp, we texted with our friends in the kibbutz, in the area, all around, trying to understand what is going on, but still trying to be in denial, not really understand what is going on outside. It wasn't too long after that we started hearing gunfire outside our houses. What later we understand was a gunfight between our first response team all from people from the kibbutz, had approximately 25, 30, we don't really know the numbers of mechablim, terrorists, try to go in the kibbutz and get inside. After a while, we heard that one of our first response team, Amir Naim, was killed. 27-year-old member of our community, also born and raised in the kibbutz, just got married a year ago. His wife is pregnant with his first child. And we also heard we have 4 other members that were injured pretty badly. They are all okay as for now. But it was really, really hard. After a few hours, we also heard that our mayor, Ophir Liebstein, the mayor of our regional council, is also murdered. And then we understand that there is something very, very big going on outside. We started contacting all our friends and trying to understand what is going on. Heard about a lot of horrible stories from all our area. At the evening, it started to be a little quiet in the kibbutz. We heard that the army arrived and we decided to leave. We did it, although we were supposed to stay in the safe room, but we decided we don't want to know what the night will bring. We packed a few things, packed the kids, put them in the car, and started driving. Me and my family, we went to Tel Aviv for the night. The next day, we knew the community will start evacuating. In the middle of the night, around 2:30 a.m., we get a phone call from the kibbutz, and they told us there is an evacuation order. I called my parents, that they live in the kibbutz. I called my sister, and I wake them up, and I told them, you have to leave the kibbutz, and you have to do it now. And you have to understand, I have young kids, so every time we have like a round of a little bombing, and like we live for a few days, and then we come back. And my parents, they never come. They always stay at home. They feel like their best and safe place is home. But at that night, I called them and I begged them to leave the kibbutz and come and stay with us. And they did. They came. They arrived in Tel Aviv in the morning. And after a few days, we all came here to Mitzpe Ramon. We are here around 400 people from the community. No one stayed in the kibbutz. We are all evacuated for a month. The kibbutz is a closed military area, and it has around 300 soldiers in the kibbutz, staying in the kibbutz. We can go and take some things and maybe work a little in the kibbutz, but not really. So we're all the community, we are here. And we don't know when we'll be able to come back. We don't know what it will be like. We don't know if everyone will come back. We don't know if some of the members of the community, we think some of the members of the community will decide not to come back. After a week or so, we started going to funerals. We had a lot of funerals, friends, families, and now we're starting to think, what is the next chapter? Are we going to stay in Mitzpe Ramon? Are we going to have another place to go? For how long? There are a lot of question marks, and we're literally living our lives day by day.
Sounds like someone else's reality, but then I remember it's also where I live.
חדירות כלי טיס.
כן, כן, תכף נעדכן אותם. So we don't have much time for questions and answers, but I did get many of them on WhatsApp and emails, and we'll try to answer them privately. It's almost 8 p.m. here in Israel. We're getting ready for another sleepless night. One soldier was killed earlier today. Over 70 alarms went off today in the north, center, and south of Israel. In this period of trauma and pain, while funerals are still taking place every day, we're also thinking about the day after. Whether we, individuals and families, can and want to go back to the beautiful region of Eshkol and Sha'ar HaNegev. And if we choose to go back, when should we? And if we ever, Israel is in Ofakim, in Khorfesh, in Rishon, in Arad, will ever feel safe again? It's a very, very big question that we're dealing with now. As we speak, there was an alarm in Khorfesh about a suspicious drone that might be in the area. I'll end by saying that tomorrow morning, in this pop-up school that we opened up, that we arranged here in Mitzpe Ramon, we're dedicating the school in memory of Amir, who Vered was talking about him. So you heard a lot of stories. I want to welcome Zev Sherl, the chair of Global Connections, to close this webinar. Thank you very much, Vered and Iris and Merav and Mufid and everyone on our team and in New Jersey who helped make this happen. Zev, it's all yours.
Thank you, Michal. Thank you, Michal, and all of our family. You are truly family. Vered, Mufid, Iris, Meirav, and of course, Eyal. We are so honored to know you and to partner with you, and I extend this not only to each and every member of our partner communities, but also the handful of professionals that we have on the ground, who we sometimes don't know who's who, like they're family to us also. So Global Connections is the department responsible for fostering the relationship between Greater Metro West, Israel, and our global Jewish communities. I moved to Greater Metro West in 2000 and have never been prouder of our federation than in the past months. Global Connections has 3 areas of focus. We're responsible for bringing Israel to our community and making Israel accessible through our 9 Israeli emissaries who spend between 1 and 3 years with us. 2 of them are adult community emissaries, shlichot, and the remaining 7 are pre-army 17 and 18-year-old rishonim, or young emissaries, who work across schools, JCCs, youth movements, synagogues, and many other organizations. We also, we create opportunities to engage our community with programs and learning experiences that connect us with Israel and global Jewish communities. Our programs connect as many community members as possible to global Jewry. 3, we implement immersive programs that connect our communities. We call these programs Living Bridges, as they are comprised of local cohorts of members from Greater Metro West and parallel cohorts of members from our partner communities who spend significant virtual time together and also significant time physically together in their respective countries. During the current war and since October 7th, it became clearer now more than ever that the relationship between Greater Metro West and Israel could not be more important to us. In addition to our main focus areas, we work in lockstep with the Israel and Overseas Allocation Committee, chaired by the always fully charged, like a new ever-ready battery, Craig Grosswald. Collectively, with Craig's leadership, we have been immediately responding to the financial needs of our partner communities through emergency funding, from Shiva tents and food for those in mourning, to sponsoring thousands of hours of mental health support, from backup generators to emergency medical kits. We're continuing to support our family and our partner communities in Israel. These are people we know and care about deeply, people who have stayed in our homes and who we visit every year, sometimes more than once a year. They are our family, and you are our family. I have two succinct messages to leave you with today. First, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all of the love and support you have given. Over $26 million has been raised in Greater Metro West for the Israel Emergency Campaign. And we have been and want to continue to be in the position to respond favorably to requests from our partner communities. Working with unmatched, dedicated professionals, both here and in Israel, each one of us should be unabashedly proud of our community response. However, and this is the second message, there's so much more that needs to be done. What are concrete ways to help? The UJA annual campaign is the backbone of our community. It is the vehicle that has enabled us to put in place all of the building blocks to support our partners locally and abroad for a century. Let's be clear, the reason for our response to October 7th is effective is because we were there on October 6th and before. And that is thanks to our annual campaign, which is chaired by the amazing Michelle Landau, in combination with incredible lay and professional leaders. For those who want to engage in hands-on work and connect directly with Israelis, we encourage you to join our Checking In with Family campaign. And note, it's not partners, it's not communities, it's family, through which volunteers from our community receive a list of Israelis from our partner communities and reach out regularly to check in. The response we are receiving from our friends in Israel has been heartwarming. There are over 600 people in our community partners to reach out to, and many have not yet been contacted. To learn more about each and every one of our efforts, please visit our Federation website or go directly to emergencyfundforisrael.com. emergencyfundforisrael.com, or contact a Federation professional. We want to encourage everyone to join us for the Americans March for Israel rally in Washington, D.C. this coming November 14th, this coming Tuesday. We are marching for Israel, marching for the release of hostages, and marching against anti-Semitism. Our federation is providing buses at a subsidized cost. Registration ends tomorrow at 5 p.m. If you're interested in joining, please sign up as soon as possible. I want to conclude this program by thanking you, each and every one of you, for the role you are playing to support our brothers and sisters in Israel through these very, very difficult days and nights. I have no doubt that together we will continue rising to the occasion as we have done time and time before. Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you all for joining us today, and a special thank you to our friends in Israel.